Jim Krenn, No Restrictions with my good friend John Vento. Of course, Jim Patulski, our producer, and doing sound. And I think Jim's like the computer. He's so amazingly intelligent, I think. I can ask him anything off the cuff.
He's pretty
and
smart.
He comes up with it somehow, some way.
He's a pretty smart guy.
And creative. We have a special guest. You've known Tim forever. You do the intro for Tim.
All righty.
Yeah,
I'm going to introduce our special guest, one of Pittsburgh's long-standing great musicians, just a sweetheart of a guy.
Ah, nice.
And a highly respected guy in the music world, Mr. Tim Hadley, or as we say, Sir Timothy Hadley, newly knighted.
Tim, I've never been called a sweetheart of a guy. It's the nicest intro John's ever given. Right? Sweetheart of a guy.
It may never happen again.
Right.
That's all right. I like that.
Yeah. I think he's being a little sarcastic, but
Really?
that's okay.
I don't think so.
Tim is one of the most together musicians, man.
Oh, he's a monster.
You know what I love about you, Tim? Because I'm new to the music world as far as performing in it. And as you know, I've been taking lessons because John turned me on to Beth Clausen, a wonderful singing teacher, trying to get into singing. And my first experience was with you guys and in the band. And you guys graciously took me in mistake-ridden amateur, really, just learning. And but I noticed Tim's like the quarterback in a way.
He's our musical director.
Yeah, but I can see it's like a quarterback. I noticed that. They just kind of like watch everything that's going on and coordinate everything that's going on. It's the first thing I noticed. So you have a quarterback involved with this. You got it running back. You got everybody. Yeah. It's like it is a team.
It is a team
It's
effort.
a team effort, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Jim.
And not everybody can carry the ball all the time. Some guys got to block and run their routes, but
yeah,
it is like a team.
In the greatest, and it's a great band. Come on, right? Needs Hotel
Band. We're very
You can
blessed.
bring it. I will
Thank you.
put my name on it.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's like the Packer sweep, which is there's a book out about Lombardi I read, and he said the Packer sweep. It never lost the yard. At least it got zero, but it never lost the yard. That play never lost the yard, and they knew when it was coming. And the reason it never lost the yard was because Lombardi said everybody had to have their job. Everybody. And no one was more important. In other words, Paul Horning, who carried the ball, was not more important than whoever was blocking or a third blocker. Right. No one. You have to take that mentality. Like you said, sometimes you got to jump in there,
Mm-hmm.
And he said, because you all form as one unit and you just can't be stopped.
Yeah.
You're unstoppable and you hit your best
That's
potential.
a great example.
It's cool.
Any organization, and of course a band
Any
is the same way.
Yes.
We're blessed because Tim has been around a long time and is really a high-level guy in this town.
Yeah,
right.
You got some all-stars
The rest
on that
of us,
team.
we do have some all-stars, but then there's a lot of guys, including myself, that don't have that pedigree, but we fit. We design it so everybody fits.
I get to do a song with you guys. Now, it's going to be Yinzer Fest. Right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
doing
Needs
a
Hotel
song. I
Yes.
get to do a song with you guys.
Yep.
I like taking my advantage of doing songs with you guys.
Okay.
I feel like
Well,
a rock.
this summer-
I give you a chance to feel like a rock star for a minute.
Well, you are, brother. You are. And you know what? I got to give you've worked really hard at it.
I'm trying. I'm
And you're
trying to
getting
get better, keep it
and
professional,
better. Yep.
I'm getting there.
At Larry's show a couple weeks ago at the Oaks, you killed it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm feeling it. I love music, though. It's like my hobby of, I love doing it. Everything's my hobby. I haven't worked a real job my whole life, which is wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm in the hot dog business for fun. We just signed a lease. This is kind of a big exclusive for our listeners here. The listeners who followed me through all these years. Got to give them a little insight. We're signed a 10-year. We're going to be Yinzer Hot Dogs in the Strip District. We'll be announcing that soon, but I'm going to give you the inside right now. You know about the Yinzer Hot Dog truck is out now, so it's all over town, so that's a lot of fun. But it's the best hot dog you'll ever I can't say where it's from, but it's a hot dog you'll remember. We'll bring back memories. It's a wonderful hot dog, but the kielbasa is the all-star, man. You got to have the kielbasa. So it's going to be quality food. Myself, Dan Marino, and Larry Richard, and it's Yinzer Hot Dogs. So
How about your pierogi bites?
my God, they're amazing.
I've had those. They're fantastic.
Puts those together. We got a great menu. And
Yeah, you do.
Yinzer, tell us about this Yinzer Fest thing.
All right. Well,
give me some plugs
Tim's our guest today, and he's going to be our musical director for the Needs Hotel Band portion, which we're calling a rock and roll tribute to Yinzer All-Stars.
Okay.
So Yinzer Fest runs from the 25th of April through the 28th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at the Pittsburgh Convention Center.
Okay.
And it's all things Pittsburgh. Music, comedy, booths, cooking. It's just going to be a great celebration of Yinzers everywhere. And, of course, you're one of the superstar Yinzers.
I'll be
And
coming in
you
and do
will
my
be,
song. Yeah.
you'll be performing at the Needs Hotel Band set, which is on Saturday night, the 27th.
Okay.
Not
John-
just you.
John said this, so I make sure to remember to be
Yeah, that's just
John
true.
said 27th, be
Yeah.
there by 8 or whatever.
I'll remind you.
Yeah.
But not just you. We have Billy Price, right, Tim?
Billy
We've
Price.
got Frankie Zori from the Silencers.
Okay, yeah.
Mia Z from The Voice.
All right.
Who else am I forgetting?
We have the Granati Brothers.
Oh, Granati Brothers.
Oh, it's awesome.
Kenny Blake.
Kenny Blake is going to be playing sax. Yeah.
So we have the band, the house band,
Okay.
and then we're going to do a few tunes with all these great special guests, including you.
That's
that's
gonna
just-
be awesome.
That's
to
just
listen.
one thing. I mean,
Okay.
there's bands throughout the whole festival. And on Thursday night, Grishecki's going to be there with Ricky Wachowski, and they're doing a tribute to Donnie Irish, your buddy Donnie
Oh,
Irish.
man, Donnie, I was just hanging with him last week.
So
He's always in a good mood.
how's he feeling?
He's feeling great, man.
Good.
We were hanging at Napa Prime having a cigar together.
I got to go out there. I've heard that
Come
place
out with me
is
sometime.
fabulous.
We go out on Wednesday sometime. Michelle and I. Get Michelle come out. We have
Yeah.
it's a great cigar joint. They got a nice cigar bar, and you could eat your food. Great steak, the whole thing. And Donnie loves it out there. And so we were hanging, having a cigar,
And
and
he's feeling good.
yeah, back to Donnie, all 100%, because we were talking about, Donnie said, "Hey man, you ready for your show?" Yeah,
Big
I'm
show.
all ready. Smile. He's ready to go. It's this. Well, we're recording before his show on the 16th. Here, we're recording a couple days before.
Yeah.
But when this will air, probably after the show. But his show's coming. I'm so excited about this show. What a comeback, right? Really,
It's
to come back
unbelievable. At
when we
his
went
age,
through,
with cancer, and
fought through that, and
Yeah, God bless him.
portions going to the American Cancer Society, I believe he said. But the best part about that was when Donnie and I were having cigars, he said they're going to do more shows all through Ohio. This isn't just one and done. He's going at it, man.
He's got a mini tour, huh?
He's got a mini tour. My man is back, and sounds
it's
looks
pretty
great,
amazing.
looks better than ever. So I can't wait to see the show.
yeah, and he's he's truly at the top of the food chain when it comes to Pittsburgh rock and roll.
He's a good man
His
too.
his songs are
good
just
man.
unbelievable.
You were nice enough. You let me change my day. I was at Steamworks originally that
Oh,
night.
right.
But
right.
Donnie's performing. I couldn't miss the comeback show, so I will be at Steamworks March 30th.
No,
so when you hear this, you'll know
Nice enough, Jim.
Come
You've
on
done so
out.
much for us at Steamwork to
Ah,
keep it alive, and
that's a great little
we
community.
love
theater.
having you. So
Thanks, John.
March 30th at Steamworks, Jim Krenn.
Yeah, it's like a living
Love
room. Work out my material. That's great. I have so much fun. My mom will be out there. My mom loves that room. She
So
comes out.
guys, look up
Tim, you gotta come
Yinzer
out, man.
Fest. Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
We need our guy Doug Mariani. This Marini.
Mariani.
Mariani. I always pronounce his
Yeah,
name wrong.
yeah.
Doug. This is his dream. This is his thing, man.
It's gonna be a huge success. Everyone's gonna come out because
Tim's good friend Rhonda Zigarelli is a huge part of it.
I love Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda's kicking
we go way
ass
back.
with the
And-
promotion.
I think that's how I originally met you, Jim.
Is that right,
Through
Timmy?
Rhonda way back when. yeah.
when then? Okay.
Yeah, when she was working in radio.
That's
yeah.
right. Radio sales. Yeah.
Well, she
absolutely.
worked at DVE, didn't she?
Yeah. Oh, for
Mhm.
years. I've
Yeah.
known Rhonda forever. Yeah.
Well,
Forever.
she's kicking ass. I'll tell you
Actually
that.
a great singer.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
Right,
were-
Timmy?
Oh, yeah. I was in bands with her back
Okay.
in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
2 different bands with her. Yeah.
Really
Fabulous singer.
talented voice. Right.
Mhm.
We tried to get her to be with us as a superstar.
regular?
Yinzer. No, at our show on the
For the show.
27th.
Yeah, to jump up.
And
She wasn't in?
She made a lot of excuses, and then finally said, "Well, I'm going to be away at a wedding."
Oh, okay.
I don't. Tim, does she? She doesn't sing anymore, does she?
Doesn't want to.
Not to my knowledge.
Well-
We don't stay in touch as much as we should, but
Yeah, but
it seems like she's stepped away from it.
yeah, performing's that way though, right? It's just very personal,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Right. That's what it is. As an entertainer, you got to want to put yourself out there, and then sometimes you want to pull back. Maybe she'll be back, and she's
Well, the
very
good
talented.
news is she moved back to Pittsburgh. Right?
Good.
Didn't she go
You get
away
to
to
see
New
her.
Orleans for a while?
Long time, yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's back.
I'm glad to have
Which is
her back.
great.
Glad to have her
Rhonda's
back.
cool.
Now, switching gears, we want to talk about the Academy Awards since we talked
Yeah.
about the last episode. If everyone was listening. We had Will Ashton on. We'll have Will on again, of course.
He's a cool guy.
He's our guy. Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah.
He'll be on again, of course, to give us some insight to what's streaming and what hot movies are out there. And our Jim Podolsky knows more about movies than anyone I know. So if I have any questions, Jimmy, get ready. Did you watch Academy Awards, Tim?
I did not.
I caught it. I happened to catch it. Some of it. It was like, 9 hours, the production, right? Did you see it? Did you watch it?
No, I have no interest.
I know Jimmy probably did, right, Jim?
Oh,
you did
he
see it.
watched every second of it.
I thought it was this isn't a regular. Jimmy Kimmel was pretty good. John Cena was killing me. He did this thing where he came out with no clothes, and right, it was really funny. Go online, you'll see the clip with John Cena Academy Awards. You'll love it, guys. That's the thing about John Cena. I've noticed the last few years. Go on, get this movie like Vacation Friends he did, and a couple of these comedy movies. Mark my words, he already is. He is going to be the next huge comedic actor. I'm talking a high-level comedic actor. He's got timing like a Jim Carrey. I'm talking really like that.
Well,
his comedic timing, his presence, the way his movements, he is hysterical. He's got a movie out on Amazon. So if you have Amazon, it's part of it. What's it called? It's got a name, weird name. Snickety or right? It's like Jiminy Snickety or something. It's funny. I can't remember now. I just happened to catch it the other day just for fun. Let's see. John Cena. Looking up John Cena movie. But it's really,
and
really
he was the
funny.
former wrestler guy?
He still wrestles. Yeah,
he still wrestles.
Well, those guys never stop.
Yeah.
There it is. Ricky Stanicki.
Ricky Stanicki.
It sounded stupid. I'm laying there and I don't watch it. It's hysterical. Cena kills me. But anyway, back to the Academy Awards. Just give him a little talker. But anyway, the best picture was Oppenheimer. They won a ton of awards.
What a movie.
Cillian Murphy, the last best actor. It was an interesting movie. I saw it about 2 weeks ago. What did you think, John?
I thought it was fabulous. Jim and I went to see it together.
Did you guys see it in the theater?
And we not only saw the film, but we're blessed to see a presentation prior to the film from a nuclear historian.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Oh, it was wonderful. They gathered us in. We were in Sewickley at the Lindsay Theater, formerly the Tall Family Theater.
Right.
And they made a presentation from this nuclear historian.
Graduate of community college, Allegheny County, nuclear historian, Josh Stanicki. No,
Josh
sorry.
Stanicki.
But anyway, so the guy, what did he say?
It was just fabulous. You know, the plant down at Shippensburg was one of the first in the world. Nuclear energy places.
Right.
Oppenheimer was there. He was
man.
involved with that project.
Huh.
And that's all. He just told the whole history. And, you know, if it wasn't for Einstein leaving Germany, I mean, the Germans had the technology before we did.
It was scary.
It was scary.
It was a scary time.
And we were concerned if Hitler
Right.
gets this thing.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they put the pedal to the metal and made this happen.
And
It was just a horrible weapon.
It was a close race. I mean, Heisenberg, had a different way of doing it with the heavy water. There's a documentary called Heavy Water you have to check out.
Interesting.
It's just such a fine line, of what happened. It is very interesting. But Oppenheimer, we kind of put him through the steps after everything was said and done, huh? It's according to the movie.
I think it's an amazing movie.
He went at him pretty hard.
Yeah, and he was human. Obviously,
He's a patriot. It seemed the way he came out
until the end. Well, I think he still was a
Yeah,
patriot.
he was a
They never
patriot.
proved anything.
No, he never. No, he was,
communist
I think he was a
bullshit.
patriot.
Yeah, he liked the ladies too,
Hey,
which we had to respect.
come on, maybe you're on Time Magazine's cover. You got to be kidding me. Come on.
He's
walked in the bar. He said, "I'm Oppenheimer."
I'm the man.
It's right.
I got the nuclear
He was rolling.
power.
He's rolling, man. Got to make out something. You gonna right? You got to make some payoff there.
He was a
Time
bad Boy. So anyhow,
Emma Stone. Sorry, Johnny.
I didn't see Emma Stone. Did you see it?
Jim Patulski's talking me into it. I saw the previews.
Well,
I saw the previews of Poor Things, and
nudity is
I'm
what
not
we
into
wanna
it.
see.
The nudity maybe win me over. Tim,
You want to see the
what do you
nudity?
think? Are you in?
Emma
Oh,
Stone?
sure. But the bits I've seen about the movie, it looks visually stunning.
Yeah, it does.
And the premise is a little wacky, a little far out, but I'm sure that it wouldn't have gained the notoriety it has if it wasn't done very well.
Oh
yeah.
So you don't win those. Games.
I do want to see that.
Did you guys see Barbie by any chance?
He did.
Jimmy Patulski. Yeah, I loved it. It was great, right? Yeah. It was good. Tim, I recommend it. It's funny, man. Really funny. Yes, it's good. But that was represented well. Let's see what else we have here. The big one. Oh, Christopher Nolan, of course, won for Oppenheimer. It seems like it was just basically, you know what? There's a film that I am trying to see, and I can't figure out how to see it. I've been trying on demand. My buddy Jeff Straka, we went to his lake house. It's about 3 weeks ago, and it's all he's talking about is this movie, Godzilla -1. He's going off on this movie. He goes,
Wait, what's it called again?
Godzilla -1.
Godzilla.
And it won Best Visual Effects for the Academy. It won an Academy Award this year. So Godzilla, but he said it is off the charts, an incredible movie. He said, Jim, you got to promise me. I said, okay. He said, it's got like got a theme, got the whole deal, and it's kind of incredible.
Is it streaming, Jim? Is it streaming?
I don't know. I'm looking for
Not
it
yet.
everywhere. I can't find it.
Not
So
yet.
I hope it comes out soon. Well, not the Academy Award. I'll give it a little bump of hope, right? See what happens there. So let's shift over to Tim. So Tim, give us some of your background, man. What's the life of Tim Hadley when you become a professional musician? Do your gig, man. How'd you start? Were you a little kid and said, I want to be a rock star? Or is that how I want to be a guitarist? Or did you fall into it? How'd that happen?
No, I don't think it was the rock star
No?
portion of it, but no, it was just
Music?
yeah. Well, I wasn't. I am not a trained musician.
Really?
I cannot read music.
Okay.
I aspire to the
Interesting.
old George Harrison quote where they asked him, George, can you read music? He said, not enough to hurt me. So yeah, I can read chord charts and I understand it, but I can't sight read
Okay.
like a true classical musician can.
Wow.
But no, I've just picked it up and I've just always been interested in music, interested in how it was put together. The whole idea about the different instruments and the arrangements and the sound mixing and everything always appealed to me. Actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be an architect, but that didn't pan out. So I ended up building songs
Yeah,
instead
that's
and
music,
arrangements.
sure.
I was thinking that too. You're
Yeah.
building songs. It's funny when musicians that don't necessarily are formally trained to read, I think it's more like it's kind of cool because it's more personal. It's more like you would shift more to like blues and rock because it's a mood. You become the music.
that's a
bit
good
more.
point.
You become the music. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
Well, I mean, that's one of the great things about music is it can convey a mood
Right.
and everything like that. But I always liked all different styles and genres of music. It all adds together, Even when I think back to I'm a teenage Tim listening to KQV
Right.
and the top 40 comes on and boy, there wasn't different categories. There's no Motown Soul. It's all just the top 40.
Really? So it was just anything goes?
Everything was on there. Yeah. And it was great to just hear all that stuff.
Huh.
And of course, at that time, it was, let's do it. It has to be around no more than 3 minutes.
That's true.
And,
There was,
so,
you didn't get many. Only an
so
album
they
rock,
were
it was
very economical with their arrangements.
And brilliant.
They had to, get the message across quickly and,
it is
in a catchy manner. So,
it's interesting since we're talking about movies. I think we may have mentioned this on the show, one of the episodes, but it's a movie called Yesterday. And it's about, we talked about it, right? You saw it, right? Tim?
I have not seen that.
Oh, you know of it, though, right?
I
Where
know
this
of it,
guy
sure, yeah.
no one knows any Beatles songs, and he does. He remembers
he's the only
them,
one that remembers them,
right?
yeah.
And he starts writing them down. But the funny thing was, as I'm watching it, and he's singing his version of them, those 3-minute songs, the early Beatles. I mean, later it was brilliant stuff.
More experimental,
and,
yeah.
experimental orchestration. All the structures were different, groundbreaking stuff like Sgt. Pepper. Before that, those songs were really cool, man. Those little 2-minute, I Want to Hold Your Hand. We do Twist and Shout. And I was like, those are really cool songs. Really, you forget. You listen to them back. Oh, yeah, it was an interesting time,
Groundbreaking.
At the time, right? There was no music like that.
Well, and they were amongst the first to write their own songs, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
they were the
that's
first.
Really?
Yeah, all those other
You think-
bands.
yeah, if you go back into the 50s and even the early 60s, a lot of that stuff was written by hired songwriters. It was very rare for a band to be self-contained and be the performers and the writers.
So if you're a band back then, you go in and they'll say, all right, we'll sign you because we like your style or something.
and we'll
or
tell you what
singing,
you're going to play.
and you're going to be this band.
Right.
This is going to be your
I think
style.
it was the A&R guy's responsibility to find a tune that fit that artist.
Wow.
Actually, I want to stand corrected. I know you're going to agree with me on this because the Beatles loved Buddy Holly.
Okay.
Buddy Holly actually wrote his own music.
Yeah.
One of the very first
You know,
to where he had a whole catalog of his own material.
you know,
Elvis never wrote a song.
I was going to say, that's what my first
Ever.
thought was. I thought, wait a second. I don't think Elvis wrote a song.
Never. And he proudly admitted that.
that was the era.
Sinatra never wrote a
No,
song.
but like Tim said, that was the era. And it was fine because they made those songs their own, right?
Yeah.
My Way's My Way. Paul Anka wrote it, but it's Frank or New York, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a different era, different time.
I got to tell you a funny story how I
yeah.
met Tim.
Yeah, I was going to ask
He and
that,
I had
actually.
a mutual friend, our good buddy Billy Hibbert.
Okay.
And
Is Billy a musician?
Billy's a musician. Yep, he's down in Florida now, but he actually got me started in music. And he would bring me to see Tim's band Jet Set or to see him at a jam session at Excuses.
Was Rhonda in Jet Set?
Oh, yeah, Rhonda
Okay,
was.
yeah.
She was the Tommy Bellin, right?
Yes.
I mean, they were badass. I mean, great. You know, when I say bad, I mean killer. So Billy would bring me to see Tim, and Billy and I kind of started playing music and had a little band. And he said, I'm going to ask Tim Hadley if he'll join us. So as the story goes, he went to Tim and said, Tim, I'd really love for you to join our little band. And I guess Timmy said, according to Bill, why would I want to join your band? You guys really suck. And Bill said, yeah, but if you joined us,
up the
we
game.
wouldn't suck
Well,
anymore.
that was nice. No ego there.
And that's our guy, Billy. We love him. He brought us all together and
pretty
brought
cool.
Tim into the fold. And that, would you say that was 93?
I was trying to think of that the other day,
92.
but it was very fortuitous because Billy, even though he wasn't a real advanced musician, wrote songs.
Okay.
He told a story. He could come up with a catchy melody. So Billy had songs.
Okay.
All right. I knew how to arrange and fill things out and make it sound good.
Right.
And John had the money to put behind it.
So hey, produce. So
And he didn't sing too bad then
you
either.
got a hell of a singer
I've
here
gone
too.
way downhill since.
But I'm a huge fan, John. You know that. But Timmy, so you're part of a music or creating songs. Obviously, is you're saying the music, the melody. So you get the words. Someone writes.
Mhm.
What will you do? How do you do it? Do you get the mood? Do you start strumming, playing around? How do you get a mood for writing a song and finding the melody for those words to bring it to life?
Well, again, with Billy Hibbert, he kind of had his melodies.
Okay.
It doesn't happen any one way. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. Sometimes it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Where somebody will suggest something and we build on that. It might not be me. It might be the bass player. It might be the drummer.
Yeah.
So there's no one way that you build it, but at some point in time, somebody has to say, okay, this is the right combination.
We're gonna
so
go
that's
with it.
that's what I aspire to be the guy that puts it together and say, yeah, these parts fit together well. I again, based on that, my whole love of the 60s arrangements and
Right.
everything. The song needs to progress along. It needs to shift the emphasis. Like second verse is not same as the first. It's a little bit different. You bring in a new instrument and the one that was there kind of backs on. So it's all in the service of trying to make it entertaining, catch a mood, take you somewhere else.
It all goes back to the architecture thing we're saying.
Yeah,
it is
It
architecture.
is.
And the funny thing is, when you watch documentaries and like yesterday was, ham and eggs, whatever. Like before,
Yeah,
it became
sure.
Scrambled eggs.
Yeah,
Scrambled
scrambled eggs,
eggs.
whatever it was, right? And they developed that into this poetic song. That back to the Beatles again, of course, but still, that's kind of what you're saying. It just kind of evolves. Then all of a sudden, it gets to a point where you go, all right,
Yeah, we got it.
now we're piecing this bridge together here, or it's building together. This is good, this is bad, and blah blah blah. And have a song.
Right.
It's kind of magical in a way, isn't it?
Even the great so-called solo writers, the Springsteens, the Billy Joels.
Yeah.
You can't really say Elton John because he had his lyrical partner, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but,
Bernie Top.
or Dylan, right? There's only a handful
That did
that you
all
could
of-
say,
Taylor
truly,
Taylor Swift now
Well,
writes her own songs.
she does, but my guess is she's surrounded by a great team. I don't know. But
She's major talent.
My point is that even those guys, okay, we'll say Taylor Swift, get input from producers, other musicians.
I don't think they
I watched the making of Born to Run.
Yeah.
And in there, they'll say, well, this guy came in with a horn part, and this guy came in with that part. But you look on the back of the record, those names are never mentioned. It says songs, all music and lyrics by Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. In your own documentary, you credit, Steve Van Zandt for writing the horn section in 10th Avenue Freeze Out.
Right.
Right? I think that's the song you're going to sing with us,
It is.
aren't
It
you?
happens to be the song, yes.
Okay.
I'm a huge
I
fan.
didn't. I just tied that together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes, and Tim's strength, I always call him like an editor, finisher, kind of guy that takes it over the goal line, if you will, over the finish line. And we're working on a song today for the Needs Hotel Band.
Okay.
Because we hope to have one released real soon.
Are you at the point where you're finishing the end, like you're making the cuts and moving things around? The finishing
No,
touch?
we're still making sure the foundation is strong enough.
Still...
Again, it's like building a house. The foundation has to be there before you start hanging a painting on the wall.
Yeah.
So
I'm fascinated. I'm trying to write
But we're
songs.
pretty
It's
far
hard.
along.
I can write
We're
jokes. Writing songs is a whole different thing.
Well, I mean, you start with lyrics.
Yeah.
And then sit down with a guy like Tim or a Dave Granati or a guy like that.
Yes. They can
And that's-
strum and figure out
Right.
how you want to make this sound. Right.
To bring the lyrics to life.
Right.
For
right.
guys like me and you,
Yeah.
we kind of start with lyrics and maybe a
Because
idea
it's a
in our
story I'm
brain.
going to write. Yeah.
Correct.
We're
Yeah.
storytellers.
But then you have to partner with a guitar player or a piano player.
John, your last album was really cool, man. Tell
Oh,
people
thank
how to
you.
get the album.
Brick by Brick?
Yeah. Give a little plug there.
JohnVento.com. And Jim's working on a promotion for me because I've got CD and vinyl now. And I want to use that to raise money for Band Together Pittsburgh, our autism music programs.
That's a great program.
So we
man.
got to, how's that coming, Jim? That promo thing. Is it almost done?
John, tell us about Band Together, man.
Band Together,
So people know what that is.
yeah, creates music programs for people on the autism spectrum.
It's cool.
And it's a
Real cool.
really, really, really great thing. So
Hey, we got to give a shout out to our bank, your bank. Now
I'm
they're our
really
listeners,
pissed at
so
her.
I got to go to your bank with you one day.
She knows I'm mad at her.
Oh,
Shelly
yeah.
at Huntington Bank in Monroeville.
You're mad at.
She wants to have lunch with Jim Krenn.
I'm in.
And I know you're
I'm
in.
excited to have lunch.
And I can't get a date off her.
Oh, well, she's busy. But
No, she's making excuses. So
okay.
Shelly knows I'm pretty upset about this. I told her.
Come on, Shell, give us a couple dates. We'll pick one.
Yep,
Lunch
she's your
is
biggest
on,
fan.
Lunch is on us. Lunch is on us.
Yep.
Right, Johnny?
Absolutely, I told her.
We'll take care of her, man. That's so cool. You said everyone at the bank started listening to the shows.
Yeah, they
picking up listens. That's
She,
cool.
I think she even sent
It's
it to
fun.
Columbus, to corporate headquarters.
Oh yeah,
When you sent out your birthday wishes to her.
Why
Yeah.
not? it's great, man.
Yeah,
That's
she's cool.
fantastic, man. Yeah. So
So what's your next? You got Steamworks coming up,
I got Steamworks.
right?
Got
Yinzer Fest.
Yeah, I got a couple shows in the works too. Coming up, a couple more.
How'd
theater
your
shows.
Indiana show go?
That was so much fun. It's
Yeah.
Indiana theater, guys.
Yeah, we played it last
I was
fall.
going to say, yeah, it heard. The guys, they told me the husband and wife own that theater, and
Yeah,
and it
they're
is on
great.
Philadelphia Street. I went to college there, man. So that was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
yeah.
Did you get a
had
good turnout?
Yeah, oh, we sold out almost. We
Oh,
almost sold out.
fantastic. That's great.
But it was just tremendous. A lot of friends came out that I went to college with, and man, time goes so quick.
You know, we could do next fall
Hmm.
because we did a fundraiser for them.
Oh, for the theater?
Yeah, I think we raised about $1,000 that
That's
night
cool, man, because it's a great
for
community.
the
Again-
theater and a veteran organization.
Oh, that's nice. Again,
How
a
about we
great
book
community.
a date next fall where you MC, do a little comedy, and sing with the band?
Oh, it'd be great, man. You know, I love that
We'll
stuff.
give you some dates before you leave today.
Okay.
We'll look on our calendar.
But yeah, I loved it. But IUP, man, that's my college. 9 of the best years of my life. Just kidding. I actually graduated, believe it or not, in business.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
I
well,
believe it.
I remember I had the worst GPA, grade at point average. I was at 2.1, which is like C barely, and the professor. I remember I had to take this one summer course, and it was like some kind of economics course. And this gentleman was really nice. This professor, he was Greek and he spoke in English, and it was so funny because I took my final. He knew I had to get a B to graduate, and I said, "How did I do?" And he goes, "Mr. Krenn, by the grace of God, you have graduated." I just never get the feeling. By the grace of God. I said, all right. Man, I learned to party up there. I'll tell you. Got my social skills. I knew I was going to be a comedian.
A bunch of our businessmen, band friends, Brad Turner, John Collins.
My wife went there too.
Your wife's
my wife went there,
IUP, my dear friend Tony Moranti. I mean,
It's a beautiful school. It really is.
oh,
It's got a great
getting bigger
campus.
and bigger every year.
It's only an hour and a half or whatever, hour and 15 from here. So it's perfect for, get away but not away kind of thing.
Yeah, we got to do a show with you up there.
I mean,
That's
I
a
love
cool little theater. They have a nice green room.
nice people.
They're real nice people.
Yeah, I love doing. That's the cool thing about what's going on in Pittsburgh. We got a lot of these little theaters,
Yeah, they're coming back.
like the Lamp,
The
in
Oaks.
Irwin, the Oaks. Which
How about
I
the
play a
Strand
couple
and Zelienople?
The Strand. I'm going to be at the Strand the night before Thanksgiving in concert.
Oh.
So if we're free, you're free,
Yeah.
Tim. Might be a night off. Might come out. Maybe get you out. You're not playing.
Dora from
right?
Indiana Theater. That's who you dealt with, Dora, right?
Yes.
She's cool. Yeah.
Oh, all those people. They
And
were
then,
just sweet people. Very kind.
Mr. Carter out at the Strand.
Yeah.
Ron Carter.
I love that. Well, all those theaters are great. I love the Strand. The Oaks are wonderful. Those people are so nice. The people that own Oakmont Bakery. It's such an, for stand up, come up with doing stand up in the comedy clubs. And then when you're really starting out, and even now sometimes too, for corporate gigs, which I love performing anywhere. But a lot of people don't realize that there's theatrics to it. So they don't. So all of a sudden you have a microphone in the corner and, that's it. And go ahead, introduce your name. Gotta be funny for an hour. But it is a one-man play. So you start to learn how to do it. You can do it anywhere. You could do it in the middle of a restaurant if you had to at one point in my life. But then when you get to a theater, man, it is like heaven for me. It's like unbelievable because they pick up every nuance.
The Strand is really
That's what I mean. So these theaters are like that.
Remember, we played that with
The,
the
in-
Liners.
the intimacy is just
Yeah.
amazing.
I love the Strand.
When I was coming up, man, it was fun doing the little dives and all the crazy little gigs, man. I had some. I'll think of one of your craziest gigs you ever had. So I had a gig where a little person attacked me.
I remember you told me.
It was early in my career, man. I'm up on stage and I'm bombing, and I was in a top bar, and it's you hear a pin drop. All of a sudden, this guy comes up about 3 feet. God bless him, and he looks at me and goes, "You suck," like that. I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And I had no real heckling line, but he looked like Barney Rubble. So I looked at him and said, "I didn't want to tell you, you look like Barney Rubble." And he jumped on me. So the crowd's laughing. They think it's like part of a gig. And I get this little guy, and security came off and just pulled him off, and they just tossed him out. Well, put him outside, not toss. But it was, but I was like, wow, this is interesting. And that was one of my weirdest. I mean, we've done 1,000,000 one-nighters, these dives in different places. The one that I do regret the biggest, though, I have the biggest regret in my career, was as this little bar somewhere in Ohio, but Molly Hatchet was there the next night, and they came and they were at my show at this motel bar.
Wow.
And I did my show, and in the kitchen, I can't name the name, I'm sorry, lead, 2 of the guys from Molly Hatchet, wish I don't know, they're Molly Hatchet, and they said to me, quote, "Jimmy, would you like to go all night fishing in some titty bars with us?" And I said no. What an idiot. I regret it every day. As I think, what would have been the greatest story ever to go to a strip joint all night fishing with Molly Hatchet. That could have been my book, right? Biggest mistake.
A quick Molly Hatchet story.
Okay.
And then I know we're nearing the end. But
You didn't go. Did you go fishing?
no, but the Granati brothers toured with Molly Hatchet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
David told me this story just a few months ago.
Okay.
So they're coming through Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and the Granati brothers invite the big guy, the Molly Hatchet lead singer, to their
That's my guy.
yeah. What's his
I think
name?
that
Billy
was
Joe Brown.
Danny
Joe, right.
I think that was my guy
Right.
I wanted to go fishing with.
So they invite him over to the house for Sunday
In
dinner
Titty Bar.
because they had an off night on the tour.
Okay.
Right. So he comes over, and Mrs. Granati's cooking up a storm, and all the boys are there, and they're doing their usual thing. And right in the middle of the dinner, old Danny Joe is eating, and he stops, and he turns to Mr. Granati,
Yeah.
and he said, "Sir," he said, "what I'm about to say," he said, "might get me kicked out of your home. I do appreciate you inviting me over for dinner and this beautiful food that your wife worked up." He said, "but I'm offended by the language that you and your boys use at this table, especially in front of this beautiful woman."
Wow.
He said, "Where I come from, we don't use such language in front of a woman." And, David said, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
What is Mr. Granati? How's he going to respond?
Right. What'd he say?
And Mr. Granati turned to the guy and he said, you know what? He said, I want to thank you for pointing that out. He said, and from this moment on, there will never be foul language again at this table as long as my wife is here.
Wow.
And they just continued their meal.
That's the same man who asked me to go to a titty bar.
He said, I'm offended by this
you know
language, but he likes titty bars. Anyhow.
And all night fishing, which would have been the highlight, all night fishing. Where I don't know where we were going to go all night fishing. I just had this weird, I don't know why I said, probably was the best move, maybe saying, no, I've probably never been seen again. Who knows? Well, I can't. They all they had, but we can't find them. All right, we're leaving. I'd be gone.
They're all gone.
Lost
There's
them.
not a
Are they
single-
really?
Oh, every Molly Hatchet guy's gone.
See?
Yeah.
Up in,
Anyhow,
up in
there you go.
heaven. I mean, heaven gone?
They're in heaven.
Sorry, guys, up there.
Yep.
Wish I went with you fishing.
Yeah.
We'd have caught some. But anyway, the one-nighters, you had to have some crazy, weird,
Oh, I think anybody that's
like
in
some
entertainment.
one-nighters. It is a strange business at that backstage and just those
I was
road
actually
gigs.
thrown out of many bars for attempting
Really?
to sing. Yeah.
Wait,
In the early days.
attempting to sing?
Well, I had at the spare room in the North Hills.
Wait, what happened there?
We did one set, and the guy came to me
Get
and
out.
said, he said, I don't know how to put this, but you're so bad you have to stop now. He said, I'll pay you.
No, he did
I'll
not.
pay you the full fee if you leave now. Then I had another gig where
Honestly,
my friends went to pay the cover charge, and the guy at the door said,
oh my God.
this band is so bad, we should pay you to listen to them.
No.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I'm traumatized.
Me and Billy have stories.
I mean, my God, I'm traumatized hearing that.
It was,
Development
how I'm
of,
still doing it, I don't know.
You must develop thick skin in the entertainment business, as we know.
Yeah.
That
Anyhow.
is funny, man.
One of the strangest gigs I ever had was they did a fundraiser with my good friend, the late James Buckley,
Wow, man.
at the ladies' shoe department at Saks Fifth Avenue department store.
I remember that gig.
With,
The
wow,
ladies' shoe
man.
department.
Yeah,
With-
they just had us come in and set up
Really?
right there at the ladies' shoe department.
That is a very strange. Talk
That's-
about non-theatrical
Right.
gig, man.
But I mean, it was part of a fundraiser.
But,
you
hey,
know?
man,
we entertained and hoped that they
Yeah.
left their donation. I mean, the whole store had different bands in different areas.
How were they? How were the audience? Did they listen at all? Were they into it?
Well, it was
good?
they were coming and going. Some of them were trying on shoes.
Some was shopping.
Oh, those
some were listening.
Manolos look great on you. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. That's the life of the entertainer, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the fun, right?
Yeah.
In making a living. How many bands are you in? 1 million bands, or I know you're in each.
I wouldn't say
band
a
through your
million, but
life.
over the years, man, maybe a dozen or so.
Dozen or so. Huh?
I tend to have more long-term relationships even with the
Yeah.
bands.
You're
Yeah.
more of a band guy than a bouncing around guy.
Right.
Right, that's me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're well known in the area as a
Yeah.
known musician.
We joke around a lot. I call him the grumpy bear and this and that. He gives me dirty
It's not a
looks.
bad nickname.
It's a love. Listen, it's truly a love affair. Tim has encouraged me through the years. I've always given him credit for this. When
Yeah.
other guys got jealous when I did things away from the band,
Yeah,
Tim always said, "Go work with Buddy Hall. Go work
Right.
with those other guys. You'll grow.
it's good.
Go work with Dave Granati." He's always encouraged me to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and it has helped me grow. As a musician and somebody understanding music a lot more. So,
Yeah.
whereas a lot of other guys get jealous and they are,
Really? They
Oh,
wouldn't let
yeah.
you work with anyone else, or
or
like that or whatever?
You go and do other
Interesting.
things that maybe they're not doing. And
right,
there's
right.
a-
They don't want to be left out, whatever
yeah,
it is.
right. I mean,
It's like any kind of relationships. There's chemistry involved there.
Yeah.
When you find a group of guys that understand each other and gel together, and there's petty spats every now and
Right.
then, but still, when you find that right chemistry, you can make better music.
It becomes family in a way.
You
it
can-
is family.
Yeah,
It is.
'Cause
We've been blessed with that.
you can put a group of guys together that are all fabulous players, but if they don't like each other, it's not going to sound good.
No, if
It's
it's
gonna be
needs
destroyed.
hotel man's a family, and
It
I
is.
am the
And
adopted.
so are the
I'm
businessmen.
the adopted stepchild.
You're an adopted son of the
I
family.
love it.
Just a few weeks ago, we had an event here at the house, and all our old guys came after all these years.
Everyone's stopped by the jam.
It was, we got together,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's a lot of love,
Were
a
you guys
lot of
playing?
respect.
No.
no, it was
Just
a
hang out.
party at
hanging
the
out,
house.
just
Come out the
hanging
house.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
it's like
cool.
some of these guys we haven't seen for 2 or 3
Right.
years, but it was like it was yesterday. So
It's like family. You're sharing. So as we wind down, we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers. Looks like Russell Wilson is going to be our next quarterback. All pro, future Hall of Famer. He's going to be 36 years old this year. But Tom Brady kind of reset the whole clock for quarterbacks, right?
Sure did.
He ended up getting Kirk Cousins 180, whatever, 60 million, whatever he's making, because they're looking at quarterbacks to play to 40 now, and they are. Their nutrition, the way they exercise, whatever, the regimen, everything's different now, and the game is different. They don't get hit every play like
Look
they
at
used
the
to.
rock and rollers that are in their 80s. Put that in perspective.
Yeah, mix it. What, 82? Whatever.
Donnie, aren't we talking about Donnie
Oh,
Harris?
Donnie's still. Yeah, Donnie's
He's 82,
rocking.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess Russ is a kid. But Russell Wilson coming to town, man.
I hope he does
we're
well.
going to the Super Bowl. I feel it.
I'm glad you
And I
feel
can't
it.
wait to hear the first person go, I saw Rihanna at Giant Eagle, squeezing the bread. Rihanna sightings are going to be everywhere. You know that. It's going to be huge. It's going to be
She's
huge.
hot.
Gay Steelers. I know. It's beautiful. Well, Tim, thank you for coming on the
Thanks
show,
for
brother.
coming,
Tim
Tim.
Hadley. And we will
My pleasure.
We'll be hanging at Yinzer Fest, right?
Well, we're going to be practicing, Jimmy.
Yeah, you
my-
have to come
be
to
rehearsals.
I'm allowed. You guys let me into her. This is like
You
big.
have to come to rehearsal, and
This is kind of big.
I went easy on you in some of my other shows.
Now you'll know
always-
why we call him the Ayatollah of rock
Oh,
and roll.
really? Nice.
Yes.
You might get the look if you miss a line.
That
Don't come
means
in
I'm in the
right
club,
place.
though. I'll feel
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Right? That's good. That's good.
You'll get your battle scars.
Thanks, Timmy. I appreciate it, brother.
All right.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we hope you enjoyed the show. John Bento. Thanks,
Thank you,
Johnny.
Jimmy.
Jimmy Patolsky, and myself, Jim Krenn. It's Jim Krenn. No restrictions.